Welcome back, everyone. This is your host, Chris and Deepom here, and we are finally back with another regularly scheduled Super Tuesday recap. I mean, we've been doing the mailbags, but I realized last month the only Super Tuesday recap show we did was a mailbag. It's like, oh wow, we haven't had to review any shows. This is.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, this is I make fun over on UD Pod. I'll make fun of some preseason stuff. I don't know if I got my fastball yet. Like I'm over here stretching. Like, oh, this is okay. We're back at it. All right. Let's get you back in the chair on a Wednesday.
Well, here's the thing. So we're reviewing The Flash. You know, season 5, episode 1, titled Nora. We'll get into that in a minute. But here's the thing. You know what's different about this? Everything's staggered. Like, The Gift has been back for already 3 episodes, which we're coming with that. We're reviewing that every 3 episodes, so that's coming on. That review's coming this weekend. We were just talking about how this week only Black Lightning and Flash premiered. Sunday will be Supergirl finally come back, and Monday will be Arrow because they changed the schedule around. And the week after that is when Legend starts. So it's like they've already staggered the recording, the airing of these shows, so that kind of helps. 2, you might have noticed there's no Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Not saying it's not coming back, it definitely is, but it's not coming in this fall lineup. So we're getting kind of, I don't want to say we're getting a breather, but
it's a start. We're not getting in here. We don't hit the ground running. I get to be told that Arrow's happening this coming Monday, and then have to just point out to everyone that yes, we're talking about Flash. That Arrow premiere looks like it's about to be a beast.
Look, I am an Arrow stan, so
I'm here for this Arrow very much.
yo, Oliver
this show, but when that Arrow review runs, download that and play it immediately. Because unless they seriously fumble the ball, I'm gonna be very happy, man.
Look, Oliver kicks a man's head through a fucking shower wall. Like I
seen it.
And you know what? There was no blood spattered on the wall.
I had something to say, but I'm gonna hold it because it goes into Titans territory. I'm not really.
I'm so very. We're gonna get into this. I promise you guys, but like I'm so very confused by the promotion for Titans. It's like when I was sitting in the press room with them, talking to them. It's like, okay, I kind of want to watch this show, but I'm like, then I go, wait. Does the promotion you guys are running know that this is the show you're making? Because it seems like it's 2 different shows. It just it doesn't make any sense. You know, I'm very, 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 very fucking confused by Titans.
So if you're not part of our Facebook group, you should join our Facebook group. It's a great place. But I mentioned there, they said themselves, we're not aiming for Teen Titans Go crowd and the Teen Titans guys who grew up with the cartoon. But for me, that seems like a bad money move because you, like the Star Wars model, you cultivate young fans so they become old fans that recruit you new young fans. Well, spoilers, that's what Star Wars did to all of us. We all got played. And secondly, they're like, we're also leaning away from the characterizations of the Wolfman Perez, much beloved New Teen Titans run, which makes me ask, who is this show aimed at? Well, what's the target? Because you know what they said this week?
Batman's a killer?
Batman's a fucking killer. And at that point, it's like they're trying to get me to fight them.
It's very, very weird. Because like I said, when I was sitting there, one of the producers, Goldsman, said that they were actually. That's why I'm so very, very confused by what they're saying there. It's like they're getting cross signals because he actually said that they are using the Wolfman and Perez versions, and I'm like, well, not according to what I'm seeing so far. So it's just I don't get it. It's very, very confused. I'm gonna take the hit for the team and watch the first episode because, I'm not even gonna
thank you for that. Like this is self-harm. I'm not gonna.
It is. But I at this point I feel almost obligated to, and I don't understand either. I'm with you. I don't understand who they're aiming for. If you're, I don't see. There's nothing wrong with being the Teen Titans. Like, you can still get gritty. You can still get some serious things. I mean, you can still do that and still be characters we recognize. It just seems like that Batman's a killer thing. I'm just really hoping that it's just misquotes because that just doesn't seem.
Okay, yeah. Keep giving them your hope. Keep doing that.
That's
that work out for?
That just seems stupid. Anyway, we're not here for that. We're here to talk The Flash, episode 1 of season 5. Nora, after an unexpected guest from the future appears in their home, Barry and Iris must figure out how to get her back to the future without disrupting the timeline.
Can I, before we say anything, can I just say something I learned this off season?
Go ahead.
A lot of people don't like this show, and they have their reasons. When I get off the cuff Shui and Lightning Lad references, this is not the show that's going to pick apart this show.
So here's
because some of the details here were kind of whatever. The chemistry and the Easter eggs were there, so I forgive a lot of shit.
Here's the thing. I have no problem saying that season 3 ended flat. I think season 4 was better. I still probably lost some people. Here's the thing. I can never be completely 100% out of. I'm never going to completely ever be out of the Flash. And just like I have an unreasonable love for Arrow, which I can defend. I can defend my love for the Flash very simply. It's like your two leads in Candice Patton and Grant Gustin are, unless they somehow stop being able to act, I'm always gonna watch this. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
they are electric when they're like, their chemistry is so good. And then you go to the rest of the cast, and I'm gonna say what Shannon said on the preview. They really did use Marvel's time travel and got their future kid.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Again, we can have issues with the story. We can have issues with certain things they do, certain decisions. Yes. But as long as you always have a talented cast, there's a lot that you can be forgiven. And I'm not even going to say that there's a lot wrong with this episode here. I just want to just go, huh?
There isn't. No, there's not a ton.
Right. So
we're just putting a blanket over the season as people are coming in for the fresh new year.
Yeah, I'm never going to be out because you're going to, as long as you have a cast as talented that works as well together, there's always going to be some form of entertainment value. Now, maybe it won't be like my number one show, and it might not be much watched TV all the time. But I'm sorry, especially when I see the trash that other people watch. Like you can't tell me that you're out on the Flash and you watch Gotham.
See, I wasn't going to take shots. I really wasn't.
No, I'm going to take shots.
You know who you are. You know who you are.
You're not going to tell me you're out on the Flash and you're paying $7.99 to watch Titans. We're not doing that. You're not going to tell me you're out on the Flash and you were making excuses for Inhumans. We are not going to fucking do this right now. All right. This show has its issues.
On the Flash, and you stuck with Supernatural. You're not allowed to speak.
See, I see why we got to even bring. I wasn't even going to go with the Supernatural slander. It's warranted.
I feel like it's the theme of the year. I feel like that preview set the tone for me to slander something I've never watched for an entire season. And if you have a problem with that, at DPalm66, yes, I'm going against Supernatural fans. I'm betting none of them listen to this show.
No, but I'm serious. Like, I think so. There's a couple things about this episode that I think, and again, it's too early to give ups and downs on whether this season is going to correct things from before or not. Whatever. Just looking at this one episode, it's a lot to love here. First of all, I can't remember exactly, but I think this might be the first time, the first season that started where you literally start off where the last season ended. Usually, we have a little bit of a time jump, and 6 months, something like that. This literally start. The last season ended with Nora showing up at the West household. This episode ends up with her right there saying, "Hey guys, I can't go back home." And I think that that actually helped because you're picking up right where you left off at, to the point of I was actually it was almost a negative for me because I almost made mistakes. Like I was like, yo, why the fuck is Cisco acting dumb? What's going on? I was like, oh, that's right, he's hungover because him and Gypsy just broke up. Oh, that's right, that did just happen. That literally just happened. Why is Ralph not know half of this stuff? I was like, oh, that's right, he did die.
Yo, it's so funny because normally season 5 of a show, it's hard to get a new viewer because there's so much stuff. How do you go through the lore? I thought this episode did a very good job of letting Ralph play exposition lad and be like the mini-verse in time travel. And like all these things that for longtime Flash viewers are kind of second hat and sometimes a little like eye roll inducing. Ralph brought that new like Wait. So you're telling me that this one already went back in time. And what he didn't say is actually we're all here. Our timeline is a destruction of the original timeline when Thawne kills my mom.
Well, let's hold that thought. I'm gonna come back to that anyway.
That thought is held.
I'm getting to. It's not my negative, but I saw somebody else write there's a negative, and I have to combat it. So we're gonna come back to that point. But no, you're right. One of my positives of this episode was, look, I know some people don't like Ralph. I know I'm one of them. I'm not. I'm kind of indifferent on Ralph. I know some people really hate Ralph. I think the way they use Ralph this episode, perfect. It's like you what you said there. I'll have him kind of being that bridge for new viewers of, hey, multiverse, miniverse, what the hell? Like, we can do this now. Also, the whole thing. Go ahead. No, I'm gonna say also the thing with him using him to be a detective to help with Caitlin stuff.
We don't do notes. We don't talk before this show. I was just about to say they let Ralph be the detective, and it allows Joe to evolve into the ultimately fatherly grandfatherly role.
Yes,
which he embraces by having a secret sleeping lounge.
Yo, that shit was funny as shit.
Funny as shit.
I'm gonna sleep in the loft. What loft? They go show me, and Joe's just like, you guys found my area.
Told, didn't she? Wow, my granddaughter's a snitch.
Yo, wow. How long? Hey, Joe, how long have you been sleeping here?
Why do you ask so many questions?
Right. I love Joe, but you're right. It's like letting Ralph play the detective, and even pairing up, because again, he did have him doing good with Caitlin and going with her storyline. I'm like, that gives him something to do, because I think a lot of people, the turnoff for Ralph for a lot of people was him being the misogynistic jackass, right? Which, okay, not saying that's gone, but he also wasn't really doing anything sometimes. Here, you give him a purpose. You give him a role on the team, something that he's good at, something he can do. Make him a detective. He's already been a detective. Let him do some work. And
I thought that was the biggest problem with him last season. He was kind of Chekhov's meta. Like, once you figure out that they're going after the bus metas, you're literally just watching Ralph waiting for it to get taken.
Right.
And so it kind of fell into the problem with the Savitar season and Iris. Once you know she's destined to die, all you're doing is watching.
Exactly. And so here you give him a purpose, you give him something to do, and then you don't, he wasn't in that many scenes. He wasn't there a long time. So when he was, it was quality. You got him in, got him out. Great. So I really liked how they did that. The other thing too I liked was that I think one of the problems this show has had before is, and it's had the last few seasons, is when you have characters that do things, or you have storylines that the audience sees as a problem or sees as hypocritical or out of choice. So here, seeing Barry worrying about time travel when it's like, dude, you time travel all the fucking time. You always mess things up. And yeah, I get it as you're worried about her messing things up, but dude, that's literally what you do. Instead of waiting 3 episodes like you normally do to have that called out, they did it right there. It's like, finally, Iris just goes to him, it's like, Barry, you literally went and dragged Thawne from another time to help you solve some other crime. You had him teach you how to do certain things. It's like, Barry, you do shit like this all the fucking time. What's the real issue? And it got us down to the real issue that Barry was having, which wasn't what he was displaying. Usually they have made that a 3-episode arc, which kind of gets people, which is fine if you're willing to wait for it, but people have gotten a little impatient, and I'm not saying that's even wrong for them to be. And so here they didn't drag it out. Like, they take care of it right up front. It's like, okay, that's not the real issue. Here's the real issue. And I think that worked. I think showing that we're not going to drag some of these things out, at least in this episode. Hopefully they'll keep this same energy going forward. I think that really helped.
I thought the episode was really strong in that it set the table for a lot of everyone's kind of got their plot this season.
Mm-hmm.
Cecile's telepathic, which is fucking weird. But poor Joe. Iris is struggling to connect with her daughter because apparently they must have a bad relationship in the future.
Yes.
Probably because, like excess doesn't say. It's like when Bart gets his name because Batman calls him impulsive. It was not a compliment. It was just a name. Like, it wasn't don't know. I was insulting you, you bastard. And so that's been set up. Already Ralph, moving forward with Caitlin, they figured out that her dad's alive. Or at least her dad's probably alive. The birth certificate or the death certificate was faked by, anyone catch the name? That's right, Icicle Jr. We'll talk about Easter eggs in a second because holy shit, they did a lot this episode. Cisco and his attempted growth from Gypsy, which right now is manifesting as a hangover, but I'm sure will carry on going forward. And Barry settling into the mentorship role as leader guy. We saw, like, they even harkened back to season 1. And all throughout this episode, I was like, this is some good, like, the villain is kind of low stakes, but all the character building around it made me think of season 1. They even had the flashbacks of Wells, teaching him how to phase through things.
Nigga, listen.
Directly quoting it to his daughter. I'm like, all right, Flash.
Someone's
going to the fastball.
I literally put in my note, okay, I'm in. Like, that,
right?
I love.
Like, oh, okay, all right, cool, we're back.
Because I love that scene when Thawne explains how to phase through things the first time Barry does it. I love that fucking scene. It was so good. So fucking good. And Barry doing that to Nora? Come on, man. Come on. I'm a sucker for that.
Leader guy Barry is the kind of Barry we need.
Yeah. Well, and this also goes down to the big thing for me that sold this episode for me, and I think it kind of goes to what we're kind of walking towards is this show is at its best, and it's why I'm never really going to give up on this show as long as they keep doing this. Show's at its best when it's about family. The Flash is about family. It always has been, always will be. And so here, this episode was so much about family. You know, you obviously had Nora. You know, when Nora kind of explains, it's like, it's not that I'm stuck here. It's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are going to be some other reasons why she's there, and it's not just she wants to see her dad. But even if let's say that is the only reason.
No, she said out loud. She said in the voiceover at the end, "I'm going to keep him from dying this time."
Right. So, like, that's a real thing. I mean, and that's a real thing we can all get behind. It's like, so this is a young girl that grew up without her father, and didn't have her father there, and she finally gets to run with her father. She finally has somebody who can, like you said, you get Barry now to be Father Barry, but also mentor Barry, and he's teaching another young speedster, how to be a speedster and how to do certain things. And so we get that scene with him explaining to her how to phase. You get the great scene with Barry explaining to Iris why Nora being there perturbs him. It's like, I feel like I'm missing out on her best moments. It's like, I want to be able to experience, us showing her how to walk and do these things. And now it's kind of like cheapened because she's here right now and he's feeling some kind of way, which is a legit feeling. And it also goes down to, like, Barry, you're a superhero. You're not going to have normal again. Like, normal, this is your normal.
But I think it's nice and kind of grounded that Barry still longs for normal.
Absolutely.
It makes him such a great human character because even in this world of fantastic, we all want to go back to, like, at the end of the day, Barry has a wife. He's going to have a child. Like, he's trying and fighting for this level of normalcy that you're right, he tragically will never get. But it was so nice because we talk about Candice Patton and Gustin and their chemistry, but I love the way they communicate even non-verbally in the scenes when she is comforting him and saying, those firsts are still going to happen, and now you get you first. You get to teach her about the thing that you love the most, which is running. And it's so cool because it's so nice to see a relationship on screen, and they're going to have ups and downs because, spoilers, that's how you have to create conflict to create a television show. But it's nice that they're coming at least from a starting point of understanding. And Barry's already lying because, goddamn, he's addicted to it. But I thought it was really nice that their relationship was so grounded and so real and felt like it had some real actual dramatic heft to it.
Yeah, and Jessica Parker Kennedy has to get credit because I didn't know this until I looked up on IMDb. She is actually older than both of them.
Right.
She's older than
both of them.
Yeah. She is older than both Kennedy.
All the emotions you'd want that character to hit, the hesitancy, the over-eagerness with Barry, like everything. And she's communicated, like even helping him out in the lab. It's such a little, like, just like the energy she brought to the scene and delivering that scene, like it could have fallen flat.
Right. I mean, it's one of the things that, good. I have no problem with Keon as Wally, but it's like you could tell it's like when Barry would talk to him, he was like, yo, you guys like a year apart. Like you're talking to him like he's not a grown ass man. With this, with Nora, you're like, Nora does come off as impulsive. She does come off as young. She does come off as like, she doesn't know as much. She comes off as like the wide-eyed, child who is Star Trek not just by her mentor but her father, and wants to be a part of that life. And it's like she's playing that off so well that you forget that in real life she actually is older than both her parents, if you will. And so that works. Like you said, that scene where she's at the police station and she's like she's talking to him about the science, stuff like that. But the best thing to me though is the one at the end where they're gonna go run for ice cream, and both her and Grant look at Candice Patton like on some, hey mom, can we go for ice cream? And I'm just like, you sons of bitches.
But what I love even most about that scene, I want to talk about something else in a second, but about that scene was the tiny, Candice Patton gave you happiness and exhilaration and happiness for Barry, at the same time that twinge of sadness.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm in for the season, I'm in the relationship. If the season is mediocre, but the relationships grow at that pace, I'm here for it. I mean, I will say that the writing's tighter this season. The reason the writing's tighter this season is because normally, like you said earlier, because we kind of glossed over it because it's what they would normally do. They would say, oh, it's such a problem with time travel. And then we'd say, well, we're going to make do. They let Wally play a narrative purpose, go to the legends and say, nah, man, we do a lot more time travel than y'all do because they're better at it. Mm-hmm. And say, these are soft stuff. Like, this isn't big shit. Like, I think eventually we're going to see a Legends crossover because these are the two shows that Legends springs most directly from Flash because it's so comic booky. And I think we may get like one of those messages from Barry on the Wave Rider, or maybe advancement to how Gideon ends up on the Wave Rider. Mm-hmm. But I think that the time travel shenanigans are going to tie into Legends somehow.
No, absolutely. And like you said, this is one of the things that I think you and I both talked about last season. It was the small things. If you the minute you start this show started ignoring the small details, they started building up, right? And they build up into larger issues. In this episode, just this episode alone, again, we got 22 more, so this could definitely change. But right now, with this episode here, there were so many small little things they did here, and they covered bases that every time I was like, okay, what about this? What about this? They covered it in episode, which was not happening last season. Which again, like you said, gives me hope for this season. Like I said, having Wally go out and check out with the Legends, and first of all, even giving Wally something to do, right? Like, we know that Wally's leaving the show. We know that, and I think I don't even know if he's going to be in. I think this might have been his last episode because of his conversation he had with Joe. But they still left the room for him to come back if he needs to, go to the Legends if he needs to. They left room for it, and they took care of it in such a way that didn't feel like it was clunky. It didn't feel like it didn't make sense. His little conversation with Joe was sitting right there, almost like they were already having the conversation to begin with. We just popped in on it, and it made sense. But then also using him to go talk to Legends off screen, come back is like, oh, hey, this is what you got to do. Having him run with, Barry and Nora, like, it worked. The whole thing about bringing up, Barry not wanting to hear what was stuff that's going to happen in the future, and things like that. Like,
well, a King Gorilla Grodd versus King Shark fight, but I must see
which we know has to happen this season because anytime they mention King Shark or Grodd, it happens in season. So we do know by the end of this.
Like, all right,
yeah. I mean, I'm in. I mean, a giant gorilla versus a giant shark, man shark. Yes. Okay, I'm down. But so it's like they doing these things kind of it kind of helps, and also seeing follow from last season with the whole idea of, hey, how do we not know Gridlock was out there? It's like, oh, that's right. DeVos destroyed the Starlab satellite, so now we're kind of flying blind here. It's like these kind of little small
nice because now there's a reason for the Flash to be the second one on the scene.
Yes. And so these kind of small things kind of give me hope. Again, for those people who are like waiting to see us, like definitely wait, the typical 3-4 episodes to make sure it's consistent. But for me, somebody who's going to be watching this anyway, this first episode to me felt a lot smoother than last season and what was going on here. I really enjoyed it, and I think it really worked. And again, the family aspect of it worked. Like when this show is about family, because the Flash is about family. Like when we think about it, you know, the Flash family is real and exists for a fucking reason, and them making that the focus of this episode, and I think will be the focus of this season. And even at the end with Barry kind of basically going like, he knows that Nora could go back, but he wants her to stay because he wants to help her. Two things. One thing, he wants to, you know, get to know his daughter, but two, it's like, hey, listen, she needs to know how to do this kind of stuff. Like, she doesn't know how to phase, she doesn't know how to do any of this stuff. Like, at the very least, he can teach her how to, you know, teach her how to be a Flash. So, I think that's good for all of us. So, also,
other things I love. Okay.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to list things I love, which I feel like you were talking a larger point.
No, I was going to say some of the things I love too. So go ahead.
Oh, things I loved. Lightning Lad. There's a definite Legion of Superheroes confirmed.
I mean,
that was awesome.
We had this several times though. We got the ring at one point. I can't remember which show we got the ring in.
It was in Legend.
Yeah. So this is happening at some point.
This is a direct name drop of a founding Legionnaire. Like, this is happening. Very excited for it. What else happens? Oh, Shui is from Batman Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if she name drops Sarah McGinnis, you have to give us that too. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't make the rules. You guys start throwing things in there. I'm going to start asking for shit. Didn't know we couldn't. What else? Hungover Cisco is a gem. A real gem. I already mentioned the name of the fake coroner was the actual name of Icicle Jr. I really I love Ralph pointing out simple holes. Like, wait, why didn't Eddie Thawne just get a vasectomy?
Yo.
I was like, my nigga, Ralph, what?
Yo, but again. If you're gonna use Ralph, this is the way to use him. Like, cause he was like, hey Ralph, have you been figuring out an investigation? Yeah, I think, but like, why did you just get a vasectomy? It's like, wait, Ralph, what are you investigating? What are we talking about right now? We're talking about the crime scene. Like,
post-mortem on the last 4 seasons, bad decisions. Here for it.
I can deal with this. I can deal with the Ralph.
Tell you about yourself. Did you know that 3 years ago you tried this? It didn't work then. Why are you doing it now?
Oh, so good. What else you got?
No, I wanted to know what that complaint was you were wanting to talk about.
Oh, before we get there, come on, my nigga, come on. We finally got the suit in the ring.
Look, the fucking fashion show that got us there was very annoying.
Actually, it was actually hilarious. I actually loved it.
Hilarious for people who aren't me. My patient asked, like, put the suit on. I know you got a new suit. Put it on. First suit, I was like, you son of a bitch. Second suit, I'm like, I remember that suit. When he put it out in the ring suit, when it came out the ring, sir. And I like Nora. That's not all I took from the museum. You can ask Nora.
Yeah, listen.
Dexter Miles reference?
Mm-hmm.
Longtime curator of the Flash Museum? Yeah.
Look, man, I enjoy seeing the other suits to see how he got there. It's like, yeah, this suit, man, going old school. It's kind of tight though. It's like, I enjoyed that. And then when Cisco was like, yo, I made that. It's like, no, you did. You didn't make that one.
Oh, she said made it. Oh, she said someone made it, and I didn't take a note.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I had it written down. I lost it. Hold on. We can find that out. So while we're waiting on that, actually look that up.
Talk about other things that's coming on here, because we went back to the future room, which I don't think actually has a name. We saw the newspaper article from season 1, which I thought was a great pullback.
Mm-hmm.
And it's confirmed that Nora's from this future. Yes. And with that confirmation comes a couple questions from me. 1, does Wally become the Flash? 2, are we about to start this crisis early? Because we know that they've cast, spoiler alert, the crossover this season is called Elseworlds, and they've cast the Monitor in it.
Right.
Where monitors and where flashes tend to die, and it tends to be a crisis. So let's all be ready for that, on our toes. I loved the 3 streaks running together.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. It was just a great moment. And I wrote this note down twice. Having time travel friends and asking them about time travel makes so much goddamn sense. I'm surprised the show did it.
Yeah, so that goes to the thing that I saw from IO9. They were like, "Oh, the Flash is going back to time travel again." They're making the look, guys. The Flash is always going to have time travel. That's just what the Flash does. It's the Flash. If you are going to be out on time travel, which if you think about it, we barely got time travel last season. I know we did it a little bit here and there, but wasn't part of the storyline. Look, I don't know what to tell you. You're not going to like the show. You're not going to like the Flash. Period.
Really hate archery.
Yeah, you just can't. The Flash is always going to be. The Flash is always about. There's 2 big things that are always part of the Flash: time travel and multiverse. Those are the 2 things that are always there. I mean, his greatest fucking villain is from another fucking time. He has various members of the Flash family are either from different parts of the multiverse or they're from different time zones. I mean, different times. It's like, Bart Allen is not from our time. It's just that's just what it is. I mean, the current Flash Flash comic right now has Commander Cold, who is not from our time. It's like you're always going to have time travel in the Flash show, so you are not going to escape time travel. You cannot escape time travel or the multiverse when it comes to the Flash. That is just something you're going to have to accept. It's like saying you want to watch The Walking Dead, but you're not about zombies. It just can't happen. Now, I will go with people. Like, I think what they were trying to say is it can get messy, and you're absolutely right. That season 3 was a complete fucking mess because of what they did. But that was a writing issue, not a time travel issue. Right. like execution.
They set their own rules and broke them repeatedly.
Exactly. Here, you can see them kind of establishing rules, which again, what they did was they use established rules not from the Flash universe, but from Legend of Tomorrow. Which Legend of Tomorrow does nothing but time travel.
Hero of people watching this shit, which is brilliant and a great crutch for the Flash. They have to stop trying to do their own independent time travel shit.
Exactly. You literally have a show that does nothing but time travel. Let use Legends time traveling rules and go from there. So that was it. That was the one thing that came up. One thing, again, these are not. I'm saying this is not really a negative, but it's something that I'm keeping my eye on. I still feel like this is a crowded cast. I love this cast. I think it's crowded. Even with Wally leaving, they're replacing Nora. Nora's basically replacing him. So you still got pretty much the same number of characters. We know that we're going to eventually get a Wells because you cannot have a Flash season without a Wells. So with Cecile having her powers, I mean, Cecile's not going around. We now have a little baby there. I'm optimistic, but I'm keeping my eye on making sure that they can handle this cast they have. Like I said, I think they did a great job with this first episode of handling everybody, and everybody kind of getting their moments and times. I just hope they can keep this up. And it doesn't mean that I need to have somebody in every single episode, but as long as you give me a reason for why they're not there, it's fine. Like the small things, a little throwaway line. Again, that little line for the little conversation with Joe and Wally, basically going, "Hey man, you never got a chance to finish finding yourself because you got pulled away to help the Legends. I'm not going to be mad if you go off and you go and do that. Just make sure you come back. At some point you come back," which to me felt like it was both a real life conversation and a show conversation, which lets Wally go off and do whatever they want. And when we want to bring him back, we can bring him back, and it's fine. So if they keep that up, I don't think this is going to be a worry. I don't even think this is call this a negative. I call it a worry.
So 2 things. One, it was Ryan Choi who made the new suit, which is
Got you.
the all-new Atom invented by Grant Morrison in the mid-2000s. And also, 2, the thing that gives me a lot more confidence about them balancing the cast this year is that they've distinctly split the 6 principals into 2 different groups. You've got direct, immediate Flash family who'll be dealing with the implications of Nora. And you've got the mystery team, the mystery machine, Team Scooby-Doo, with Ralph, Caitlin, and Cisco. Without the satellites, Cisco can't really be more of a help to the Flash than Iris can.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we've been able to kind of, I think as long as they give both storylines not obviously not equal shrift. This is not called the Cisco show. It's not yet, at least. It's still called The Flash. But it allows everyone to have a purpose. And then when this larger big bad cicada, who's I'm not going to even get into here, when they start to move that'll bring them together. And hopefully the resolution from both the plot lines will make the combination much more interesting.
Well, that goes...
standing around and waiting for the thinker to do shit.
Well, that goes back to something we said last season when we always bring this up. I used to hate it. I used to feel kind of bad about it, but it's like, this is what Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. does. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. splits their ensemble cast up, gives them each independent storylines, independent things to do. You bring them together for the big overall story, but by doing these small, having them have their own storylines and their own individual plots that are independent of each other, you can have them have their own little moment, and it doesn't take that much time. And this episode felt like they're taking that kind of under advisement, and if they do that going forward, I think The Flash is going to be great, because again, you have a really great cast here that works really, really great together. They can handle smaller things on their own. Everything doesn't have to be about The Flash all the time. And so I'm with you on this one. If they can break this up and do it this way, I'm very, very I'm very, very excited about that. Negative, you kind of mentioned it. It's not really a negative again. It's just kind of a wait and see. Cicada, okay. Like, I'm kind of...
Yeah, slow burn. I'd rather them do slow burn than have this guy's a big bad and we've got to be scared of him for 23 episodes.
Exactly. I'm fine with that. I think there's enough stuff going on here. Again, taking the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. model, where I'd even appreciate it if he's not really the big bad. He's taking the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. model.
I think the model they're taking isn't the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's themselves season one, because season one, yes, the thrust ended up being gone, but the thrust of the early episodes was the family building. True. And as long as the focus is on your strongest part of your shows that we already talked about, the characters and the actors who portray them, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. As long as you trust your strength. Go back to the Grant Gustin mode. Kid can fucking act. Yeah. I mean, everyone in this cast can act.
Yeah. I mean, they're all good.
Like Danielle Panabaker, from top to bottom, everyone on this cast can act.
Yeah.
Give them something to do, because last season, and even this Avatar season, you're so enamored with the bad guy, you forget to care about the good guys. So my goal, my hope for this season is that they continue what happened in episode one. They continue to focus on their strengths and let that threat build in the background. Let it become a bigger problem, because guess what? You don't have a bunch of satellites running algorithms on things that might happen in the future anymore.
Yep.
You've got to be a superhero who's reactive, who runs patrols, and who's going to be teaching a younger, more inexperienced speedster.
You know what the funny thing about it is? Arrow did the same thing with his season 5, where it kind of got back to basics and was like, this kind of feels like season 1 again, but different. That's what it kind of feels like with The Flash here. Even with them kind of doing this whole crisis thing, and us seeing that, like bringing that back from season 1, which we kind of followed.
That's from the pilot.
Yeah.
I just remember. It's the last scene in the pilot. Flash vanishes in crisis.
Yeah. So it's like them coming back and bringing this up again kind of feels like they're, again, just like the Arrow did, getting back to basics. And if this season is half as good as that Arrow season 5 was, oh nigga, I'm in.
Don't believe us. Go watch season 5 of Arrow on Netflix. It's that good.
It's fucking good. All right, so I did have one actual real negative here. Barry Sue didn't have gold boots.
I don't think they must not film one.
No, she had gold boots. Nora's suit has gold boots.
Yeah. But I'm saying the gold against the red must not film one.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation I can give at this point. They've done everything I've asked. This is apparently a future suit, so we're not getting any upgrades for a while, I don't think.
Right.
Or substantive ones. If we do get gold boots, you'll hear about it on this episode, because it'll be a podcast. It'll be 2 hours of me screaming.
I do have to give it to him. Like the Nora suit is really like straight out of the comics, even down to the gold boots. I was like, wait, they gave her gold boots. That's wow. Okay, so, but
why are you running DNA tests when the lightning told you the truth? You saw them run,
right? Well, I love that's what happened when Barry was like, "How are we even sure?" She's like, she has your lightning and my lightning. Come on.
No, she's wearing Iris's jacket.
Right, she's wearing Iris's jacket. Come on. I had a couple more things I liked here. When Barry was talking to Iris at first when they were in the speed lab, and she was like, yeah, he's like, I'm afraid she could, like, change the future and like kind of erase herself from the timeline. And she says, "It's like, yeah, like a Terminator." And Barry almost corrects his wife on some. No, that's not. He kind of stopped himself. He was like, "I'm like, Barry, you're learning. Yeah, you don't nerd check your wife, Barry. Just let her have that one. Just don't. Just." He's like, actually, it's more like Back to the Future. Like, don't even worry about it, babe. It's fine. Like,
no. He made a Back to the Future reference. And she said Terminator 2. He's like, nah.
Right. He's just good man. Just let it go. Let it go, Barry. You're learning. Good job, sir. Good job. Right. Joe's face when he sees Cecile still has her powers. Poor man. This poor man. I feel for Joe West so much.
Yo, Joe West's wife, he's had a new baby. She's telepathic, and his sleeping milk got exposed. Joe West is the big loser of the week on The Flash, my friends.
I also love the fact that he just like Joe's gotten to the point. Like, think about how much, we don't talk about this as much. How much Joe has grown as a character. Joe's gotten all the way down to like he couldn't like everything was too much for him. To now he meets his granddaughter from the future, and he just like, oh come on, sit on the couch. We'll talk all about this. You know, he just like it's fine. He just rolling with the punches now. It's fucking great. Yeah. Yeah, but that's all I got for this episode. Like I said, I think this was a great first episode. It gave me a lot of confidence, and if they keep this up, I'm in. Like I said, I think that this episode played to the strengths of what The Flash has always been about: family and this cast. And you focus on those two things. We didn't. You notice we didn't really talk about Gridlock and the fighting there. I mean, because that's fine. I mean, that's standard stuff here. But to me, the show was always about the family and the characters, and they make it that, and that's the story. Right. We're all in. So, all right. So a couple of things before we get out of here. First, we're gonna let you guys know what the release schedule is for this fall Super Tuesday stuff. So, because we have all the stuff coming out right now, I think on Super Tuesday recap is going to be Supergirl, Legends, The Flash, The Gifted, Black Lightning, and Arrow. Star Trek Discovery doesn't come out until doesn't premiere until next year. I know they're the shorts, and we'll have an episode probably about that coming in December. Agent Show doesn't come back until next year, and some other stuff. So I think like Cloak and Dagger next year as well. So these are the show for the fall. So the release schedule so far is going to be Thursday. When you're listening to this, it's probably on a Thursday. Thursday will be Supergirl, Legends, and The Flash. Will all be released on Thursday. I think the ladies are recording Supergirl on Mondays, and we're recording Legends and The Flash on Wednesday, along with our mailbag, when the mailbags do come out. And then Sundays will be The Gifted. Will be The Gifted, Black Lightning, and Arrow. The Gifted, not sure exactly when the dates are for when we're recording that. Black Lightning is going to be recorded on Sunday, and Arrow will also be recorded on Sunday as well. So if you have emails for any of these shows and things like that, I would highly recommend you just get your emails in as soon as the episodes air and don't wait, because sometimes the recording schedule on those might change, but the release schedule will probably be the same. So even though the Gifted recording is releasing on Sunday, we might record that early, and same thing with some of the other shows. So so that we have for that. Also, I know we guys talked about before, we're making a big push for the end of the year. Shanna's comic Young God, she has her Patreon. Go to patreon.com/YoungGod. I remember she has a story, the 16-year-old Muslim boy who discovers he's a reincarnation of Jesus. And with the help of his friends, he goes on a journey of self-discovery. He faces villains, both supernatural and societal, as he learns to wield his own power. With your support for the next few months, we can help Shanna get her first issue out there and help pay our artists and get their print release out there. She'll be doing more updates and script pages and previews coming out there, and there will be discount codes for your purchasing of issues. So head over to patreon.com/YoungGod to go ahead. Again, if you can just give $1, that's good enough. Just anything will help her get this comic together. Say on there. The other thing too. Go ahead.
Spotify?
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. So other thing too, sale on TeePublic. So all of our shirts are on TeePublic. I just added some more shirts on there. TeePublic is running a sale, I believe, through the 14th, 30% off. So check the show notes. You'll see the link for the store in there. Is store tpublic.com/store/MTR-network. Go there. You'll see all our shirts. I put up a Villain Agenda shirt. We have a Run Wally Run shirt. There's a bunch of other stuff that's coming up there as well. And I know Dpom just gave me, is going to be submitting me tonight some UD Pod design, so we'll be trying to get those out as soon as possible as well. So, again, 30% off, can't beat that. So head over there for those. And as Dpom said, we are not on Spotify. Like, all the MTR Network shows are on Spotify, but Super Tuesday Recap is on Spotify as well. So put in Super Tuesday Recap into your Spotify app, and you will find our shows on there. That is the best way to make sure you get not just this show, but remember, when we do reviews for things like, the Mailbag, The Gifted, Star Trek Discovery, those are only on the Super Tuesday Recap feed. Those do not go on the main feed. So if you want to listen to those shows, you have to be subscribed to Super Tuesday Recap. Easy way to do that is listen to us on Spotify. And all the shows are on there. So if you want to listen to any other show on in the MTR Network, just put in the show name into Spotify and you'll find us, and you can go from there. So we will be back next Wednesday to record the next episode of The Flash, and then that following Sunday will be Arrow. Oh, and this weekend is going to be The Gifted, because I can't wait to talk to everybody about the first 3 episodes of The Gifted, which...
Nigga, look, I just watched episode 3. Y'all get ready to watch me party. Listen to me party. I don't know how this thing works.
Nigga, Morlocks. Like, what are we doing here? What are we... I don't...
X-Men without X-Men. I swear to God, Disney, if there's one thing you keep on getting, this is it.
I
got it. They meant to take it off the air because they got it too good. Chris, they meant to pull off the air because this is going to be the cornerstone of Marvel's new streaming network. Like, and too bad, like, the Gifted's doing it right now. If this is the step we have to take to get me a decent X-Men show on a service, I thank the Gifted for their service. They've done a great job.
Like, I gotta write my write up on 13 minutes of Dark Phoenix I saw, and I'm just like, the disconnect between this and Dark Phoenix, it's just, fuck you. I love it. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. Look. The Gifted is so good. I cheated on The Flash with The Gifted. I watched The Gifted live because it goes up head to head. Like, The Gifted comes on at 8 and Flash comes on at 8. I've recorded The Flash. I watched The Gifted live. I was like, I can't.
Watched either. I didn't want to choose, and I watched them both this evening. But I did watch The Gifted first. Yeah,
it's just The Gifted's that good, guys. Like, The Flash is lucky that their legacy, or we might be recording the Gifted reviews every week instead of The Flash. It's good to be a legacy, guys. Anyway, it was a great episode, and it's good to be back. Good to be back on Super Tuesday. So, again, folks, thank you guys very much for listening, and make sure you subscribe, Super Tuesday Recap, and until next time, we're out of here. Peace.